The world is witnessing a seismic shift in the global economy. The balance of power, once firmly rooted in the hands of a few Western nations, is now being challenged by a new and dynamic coalition. BRICS, once a loose coalition of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has expanded dramatically. What began as an economic partnership has evolved into a formidable alliance with global ambitions. New members like Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Indonesia have joined, boosting the bloc's economic clout. This expansion signals a growing appeal as more nations seek alternatives to the traditional Western-led order. Now, BRICS represents nearly 40% of global GDP and a quarter of world trade. Their combined resources, populations, and markets make them a force that can no longer be ignored on the world stage. Their mission: challenge the dominance of the US dollar and Western-led financial systems. By creating new financial institutions and payment systems, BRICS aims to reshape the rules of international finance. For decades, the dollar has been the backbone of international trade, giving the US outsized influence. This dominance has allowed Washington to impose sanctions and control global financial flows. BRICS is pushing for de-dollarization, trading in their own currencies to sidestep US sanctions and monetary policy. This move could fundamentally alter how nations conduct business and settle debts. This is a direct challenge to Washington's economic leverage. If successful, it could reduce America's ability to influence global affairs through its currency. The alliance has also attracted strategic partners across the global south, signaling a widespread desire for a multipolar world. Countries long marginalized by the current system are now finding a voice. At the recent summit in Brazil, BRICS leaders condemned rising tariffs, an unmistakable rebuke of US trade policy. Their unified stance highlights a growing resistance to protectionism and economic coercion. This set the stage for today's dramatic confrontation, a united front against American economic power. The world is watching as these nations chart a new course for the future. The world order is being rewritten before our eyes. As BRICS rises, the global economic landscape is transforming, ushering in an era of uncertainty, competition, and unprecedented opportunity. To grasp the stakes of this escalating conflict, let's break down tariffs and why they matter so much in global trade. A tariff is essentially a tax placed on imported goods, making foreign products more expensive for local consumers. This means that when you buy something from another country, you might end up paying a lot more because of these extra charges. For example, if a US phone costs $1,000 in Brazil, a 100% tariff instantly doubles the price to $2,000, making it far less attractive to buyers and pricing out American goods from the market. This isn't just about phones, it affects everything from cars to electronics to food. BRICS imposed this sweeping tariff in direct retaliation for US threats, signaling a major shift in international relations and trade policy. Earlier, the White House announced steep tariffs on BRICS countries, warning of severe penalties for any move away from the dollar as the world's reserve currency. The US saw de-dollarization as a direct threat to its economic supremacy and global influence, so it responded with hardline measures to protect its position. Tensions escalated quickly with new deadlines, threats, and tariffs hitting BRICS nations, disrupting supply chains and global markets. Washington's message was clear: support the dollar or face serious consequences, both economically and politically. BRICS saw this as economic bullying and struck back with a unified 100% tariff on all US goods, aiming to show their strength and independence. This isn't just about trade, it's a battle over who gets to set the rules of the global economy and who holds the real power. The message is clear: BRICS won't bow to US pressure, even if it means enduring economic pain and uncertainty for their own people. The world is now locked in a high-stakes standoff, with both sides refusing to back down. The future of global power and economic leadership is on the line, with every move watched by nations around the world. The trade war has begun, and its outcome could reshape the world order for years to come. The impact of BRICS tariffs will hit Americans where it hurts most: their wallets. For millions of families, the effects will be felt almost overnight, as prices on everyday essentials begin to climb. Electronics, clothes, furniture, everyday items made in BRICS countries will double in price. Suddenly, the cost of living will feel like it's spiraling out of control, and the things we once took for granted will become luxuries. A $1,200 laptop could now cost $2,400, and retailers will pass those costs to consumers. The sticker shock will be impossible to ignore, especially for students and workers who rely on technology. Even groceries aren't safe. Coffee from Brazil, spices from India, seafood, all set to spike in price. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner will all get more expensive, squeezing household budgets even further. Inflation will surge as the cost of living rises across the board. Every trip to the store will be a reminder of how much more we're paying for the same goods. The Federal Reserve may hike interest rates to fight inflation, making loans and mortgages more expensive. Borrowing money for a car, a home, or even college will become a bigger burden. American families will feel a double blow, higher prices and costlier borrowing. Many will be forced to make tough choices about what to cut from their budgets. Household budgets will be stretched to the breaking point. For some, it could mean falling behind on bills or dipping into savings just to get by. The shockwaves will ripple through every sector, from tech to food. No industry will be untouched, and the effects will be felt in every corner of the country. This is more than inconvenience, it's a direct threat to the American standard of living. The comforts and security many have worked hard for are now at risk. The trade war's first casualty is the everyday consumer. Ordinary people will bear the brunt of these economic battles, feeling the pinch with every purchase. Economic anxiety is set to soar. Uncertainty about the future will weigh heavily on families and individuals alike. The pain is just beginning, and for many Americans the road ahead looks more uncertain than ever. The fallout goes far beyond higher prices. American manufacturers relying on BRICS components face soaring costs, threatening their survival. Automakers, electronics firms, and countless others may be forced to cut jobs or shut down. Factory workers, logistics staff, and entire supply chains are at risk. Farmers are hit hard too. BRICS nations were top buyers of U.S. soybeans, corn, and pork. Now, with tariffs doubling prices, American exports are uncompetitive, leaving farmers with unsold crops and plunging prices. Ports and logistics companies will see business dry up as trade grinds to a halt. Job losses will ripple through the economy, from warehouses to trucking. As businesses fail and workers lose income, spending drops, deepening the downturn. The vicious cycle threatens to tip the U.S. into recession. The trade war is not just numbers, it's livelihoods on the line. America's economic engine is sputtering. BRICS nations aren't immune to the pain. China, the bloc's export powerhouse, will see orders from the U.S. vanish overnight. Factory closures and job losses will ripple through Chinese cities built on American demand. The economic shock could weaken China's currency and slow its growth. Brazil may gain some market share, but it also relies on U.S. technology, now twice as expensive. India's booming tech sector will lose access to the lucrative U.S. market. Every BRICS member faces supply chain disruptions and rising costs. Global supply chains are so intertwined that a single disruption can halt entire industries. Investors will pull back, slowing growth across emerging markets. The trade war is a double-edged sword. No one escapes unscathed. World leaders are scrambling to respond. Brazil's President Lula frames the move as a stand for global equity and a new economic order. Russia calls the conflict a response to U.S. aggression, aligning it with its push to break free from the dollar. China warns that trade wars have no winners, positioning itself as a defender of fair trade. South Africa and others urge caution, hinting at a desire to de-escalate. The BRICS alliance is united for now, but internal divisions may surface as the economic pain grows. The world is watching to see if this front holds, or if cracks will appear. The stakes are enormous for every nation involved. The next moves will shape the future of global power. The world stands at a crossroads, facing choices that will shape generations to come. Will leaders return to the negotiating table, seeking common ground, or will the trade war drag on for years? A prolonged conflict could redraw global supply chains, disrupt industries, and split the world into rival economic blocs. Innovation and growth would suffer, jobs could vanish, and tensions would inevitably rise. A fragile compromise is possible, partial tariff rollbacks or secret deals, but peace would remain unstable and uncertain. The choices made now will define the global order for decades, shaping the world's destiny. Billions of lives hang in the balance, waiting for resolution and hope. This is more than a trade dispute. It's a battle for the future of the world and its people.